Oh, that man's putting his jacket on. For those that may not be aware, we're here at Rushton Park, and those who live in Mandurah would know that the Peel Thunder Football Club play here. But it's also, this facility is home to another football club, the Mandurah Mustangs. They've actually been a part of this community back since 1927. They field a number of teams, senior teams, men's and women's. And in 2019, they set out to launch a new team to play in what is known as the integrated football competition. Now, I'm a football guy, and many of you may not know what integrated football is. It's a competition specifically for people with a disability to play football and to be part of a club. And through this common bond of sport, the club and its members are driving social inclusion. Could you please welcome to the stage to share their story from the Mandurah Mustangs? We've got David Lloyd, Zoe Beecham, Jamie Hunter and Xavier Hunter. Man with the coat, you can stay till at the end. And as they make their way up on stage, so David is a life member of the Mandurah Mustangs and was the integrated team's inaugural captain. Now Zoe has taken over from David and is the team's current captain, and I believe the first female captain for any integrated team in the competition. Next we have the Hunter boys. Jamie, by day, works for Midway Community Care. He's supporting people with a disability to reach their personal goals. And in his spare time, he's volunteering as the coordinator as well as the manager for the Mustangs integrated team. And last but not least, and this little story inspires me, and I think it'll inspire you too. We have Xavier. Now, when many of us think of volunteering, we think it's hard work and it takes a lot of time. When you listen to this story, Xavier is 16 years of age. He's still at school. The amazing thing for this young man is Xavier is leading this team as their coach. Now, facilitating today's panel is our very own version of Michael Parkinson, Mr. Adam Nankin. So please put your hands together and give them a warm welcome to share their story.
Thank you, Rob. Always a sledge in there somewhere for me, which is great to hear. Welcome, everyone. And I guess Rob's really set the scene of what great individuals, what great humans we have up here. So we're going to go through a bit of that story of Mandurah Mustangs and the individual stories as well. But before we get started, I just want to paint a picture. About 2.5 years ago, a night not too dissimilar to this. It was a Tuesday. It was cold. It was wet. It was raining. It was pitch black. And we went down to the club rooms. The floods were off. And I remember going to a colleague and saying to them, this is a club that are going to do some great things. And we went to do a mentoring session. It was a partnership with the city of Mandurah. And I met Jamie, and Jamie said to me, Adam, do you mind if there's a gentleman part of the club, not playing at the moment, but he'd really like to be involved in the mentoring session? I said, of course, that would be fantastic. And that individual was Dave, sitting next to me. And I guess to look back at 2 and a bit years ago and to think we're now sitting on this stage about to tell this story is absolutely incredible. And without further ado, we're going to jump straight into it. And I guess I'm going to start with you, Jamie, with that wonderful beard, and touch on a few things. And I guess what I'd love to get from you is tell the audience a bit of who you are and how you came to be involved in Mandurah Mustangs.
Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about myself. Mandurah Mustangs is quite a big achievement for myself. 10 years ago, I had an accident myself. I was quite a very selfish person. Never had any time for anyone else and everything else until I actually had a really bad accident and required neck surgery. Made me reevaluate my life, all the people in sport that I got, and it ended up being a career change of going from working in mining to going into support work. So, and it really shifted my focus on what's important in life and, in the inclusion and people with disabilities or multicultural. It means a lot. And
I guess what I'd love to hear from you, Jamie, as well is what were the driving factors and who were the drivers to put that application in for that first integrated team?
Well, the seed was sown by Dave. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so basically the driving factors was because I worked for Midway and I went with this brain scheme idea to my CEO at the time. It's like, oh, I'm going to start a football team. And he's like, oh, okay then. What type of football team? So I want to start an integrated football team. So part of a collective, the City of Mandurah and Inclusion Solutions and Midway and a couple other various organisations have like a community inclusive committee. And I got invited to come along to this committee one day and I just pitched this idea and I said, I want to start a football team. I'm going to do it in 12 months. And everyone thought I was mad. Everyone doubted us. And if they had their way, we would have only just been starting now.
Now, a lot of work goes into creating any team, in particular an integrated team, new for the club. I guess it's not always rosy and easy. And I guess what were some of the hard things that you had to overcome as an individual and as a club?
Well, the hardest thing is having a look at the demographic of Mandurah. How was I going to get the word out there? How was I going to get funding to get this going? How was I going to... We're being part of the Peel region. We're not part of the Perth Football League. How am I going to get that into there? Again, trying to get people on the same page to drive on what I could see with Dave and also Jason's not with us tonight, on what we could see and what greatness that we could bring and the gaps in the community, that was phenomenal. So, it was really a lot of hard work over the 12 months.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to ask Jamie, if you don't mind passing the mic down to Dave for a moment. So, Dave, met you on that cold, wet Tuesday evening. From not playing, being involved in the club in various ways, from a gardener to the next day, captaining the integrated league, and fast forwarding a little bit to kicking goals at Optus Stadium, you've been on quite a journey yourself. I guess, where did it all start and how did you come to be where you are today?
One of David and Jason got me to be a ground manager in the juniors, 5 years, lifetime members, and see Xavier and James, and they see me, we talks, and we got the team going.
Wow. And Dave's a modest man. He one of the photos we wanted to put up was a big one of him wearing the WA, representing WA at Optus Stadium. And I think to sit next to you tonight is amazing, not only to see your physical transformation and your journey, but to know that you've achieved some great things and a legacy to make everyone that comes after you with a disability to be able to access community the way you have. I think that deserves a round of applause. One of the things I'd also love to ask you, Dave, is what does the club and what does this community mean to you?
Well, put on a polo shirt, it's for the Mustangs. You can't swear, you can't... and yes. Like all club names, you can't swear. Everyone start fighting. Mm-hmm. And I'm the ground manager, I've got to stop the words and the attitudes and the drinkers, smokers, all above.
I think it's quite fitting, and I'm going to ask you, Dave, if you can hand the mic down to Zoe, who I can see is petrified. And the reason you, I guess, passing the proverbial baton is to the next captain that's been involved in Mandurah Mustangs. And Zoe, I guess I really wanted to ask you about how you came to join the club as the first female in the team, the only female in the team, and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, actually, Jamie met me at my little brother's primary school and kept bothering me about volunteering for the first year.
No, I'm not a stalker. She went to the same school.
Yeah, kept bothering me about it and then kept coming up to me talking about it. So I just came down to check it out and then volunteered for the first year and then started playing the second year and played the third year and become captain.
just casually became captain.
Just casually.
And I guess being involved in a club, being involved in a great club, what has that done for you personally as an individual?
Well, when I first started playing, I was extremely shy. I didn't really do much when I started playing. I didn't really talk to much people, but over the few years I've been in this footy team, it's really opened me up. I can just talk about anything. It's just fun being out there with the guys, making sure they're having fun and just,
Being involved.
Yeah, being involved.
I guess since you've started playing, you've obviously moved into a senior role, captaining, which is an outstanding achievement in itself. But also within the club, your standing is well known and very much respected, and rightly so. I've also heard you give a bit more than you kind of get on the field, and you've given some of the boys a real hard time, which is great to hear. But I'd also really like to know, in terms of being involved with the club, what are some of the opportunities that opened up along the way?
The leadership group of being captain, you get to pick the people that you think, I don't know how to explain it. Guide them, how to, yeah.
And model.
And role model.
Oh, role model, not model. I don't model for the guys.
And again, I think it's a bit of a trend with the Mandurah Mustangs. There's quite a lot of, everyone's quite humble, but something to note about Zoe as well is she was involved in some consulting with the city of Mandurah around the access and inclusion and looking at making basketball in particular a more inclusive space. And tell us a little bit where we got maybe that picture from.
I think that was last year. That was the last year's awards. I've changed a lot. I got I forgot to move the mic with me. I got an award. I think it was the
Most achieved.
Most achieved award.
Sports recognition, yeah.
Yeah. He said. I don't really know.
Congratulations, and I think knowing your journey, and I think being the sole female on an integrated team is fantastic, and I'm glad you're giving the boys a hard time. So well done. That deserves a round of applause. Now, Zoe, I am going to ask to hand the mic to the youngest on the panel. Now, Xavier's story is quite incredible, as Rob touched on before, and I guess. Xav, a little bit around you, how you came to be in the club, and I guess a little bit about who you are.
Hello, I'm Xavier Hunter. I'm 16 and I'm the captain of the Mandurah Mustangs integrated team. Coach. I first came in as captain at the start of this year. I've done it again. I was a part of the process of starting this team up, backing my dad all the way since I was 13 years old. I forgot. I was heavily involved in the first year as helping out Jason Rickett, our former coach. I got it right at that time. Yeah, I was heavily involved with helping out a lot on the field, guiding the players out there. We came into our second year. Jason unfortunately had some things going on with his family, so we had one of my dad's cousins come in as fill-in coach, and there was a few games there where he couldn't make it, and that was my first time coaching, and we actually got the first win under my coach last year. And then it pretty much snowballed from there to being announced by Jason that I was going to be the head coach for this year.
Brilliant. Something to touch on is Xavier is the youngest accredited coach in the integrated league, and I can see his dad...
And Perth football.
And Perth football, there you go.
Does.
So nothing like a proud dad to make sure I say the right thing. I guess, what have you learnt during your first year, full-time coach, 16 years old, telling adults what to do? How's that been for you?
There was a lot of hurdles, just getting into it. Considering they are all older, I felt that my presence there would be undermined because I was the youngest. But it's more about getting to know the players on a higher basis, so then they feel like they can accept you, and then it all gels together pretty much.
Personally, I've been involved in coaching, a different code, a different ball, but coaching will teach you a lot of things very quickly.
Yeah.
And I think as a 16-year-old, that's incredibly impressive. Now, I can see proud dad over there. And Xavier, I'm going to ask you another question. Earlier this year, your dad has had a bit of an accident, and I guess the family coped well. But not only that, you are not only being coach of a team, but you've actually taken the team to the first finals series ever. I guess tell me a little bit about how your father's inspired you to be the leader that you're becoming, and how you're sitting next to him today telling the story.
Well, just watching all the things that he's gone through, he's just keep pushing and pushing through them. And I look up at him and look at his strength to push through things. He just keeps going and going.
Those who know Jamie, he is one determined man, and somebody that myself look up to as well. So you've got a great role model there in your dad. Last thing I wanted to ask, without notice, 3 words that would describe how you feel about the Mandurah Mustangs.
Inclusion, enjoyment, and belonging.
Well done. 2 incredibly important words. I'm going to get back to you, Dave, if you don't mind. Now, David, the modest man that he is, he also plays many roles outside of football and outside of disability inclusion, specifically in football. And I guess, Dave, can you tell us a little bit about what else you're doing within the Mandurah community when it comes to disability?
To the next sport, this season I was assistant coach with Xavier, and it's good. Now I'm doing the integrate cricket with Jamie.
No, that's your lead, Dave.
It's mine.
That's you, mate. That's you. I'm your mentor if you need there, but Dave has taken it with both hands this year, and he's running to work with Mandurah Cricket Club to run 2 cricket teams in the integrated competition.
And I'm going to help the juniors, the juniors cricket, make the juniors integrate so that they can have fun as well.
Another feather in Dave's cap is he's also the WACA delegate for this area as well, so something that's also another badge of honour that you can wear quite proudly. I'm going to go to you, Jamie, if I may. Now, Jamie, as a community leader, when he's not recruiting, when he's not accepting players from other clubs, players that have been turned away from other clubs, he's doing everything from driving the club bus to looking at ways that he can help personally and professionally develop not only his players, but the people around him, an extremely, extremely selfless person. And one of the things I guess I wanted to ask you is there's a lot of work that goes into doing what you're doing. And what is the impact that that's had, not just on yourself, but on your family as well?
Well, I'm quite lucky. The impact around the football has not been very severe. As my youngest son, he has a intellect disability, so he's waiting for the age to get out there and run around put the footy boots on and run around with Zoe, so Zoe can protect him. And then with Xavier involved in coaching, and then she's not with us tonight, but my lovely wife, the amount of work that she puts in to support Xavier and I to get documentation ready. And then she's also like the mum of the team, so if someone's having a bad day and everything else like that, she's the one that they go to. So she is a big, big driving factor in this team, and I pretty well much say that Xavier and I would be pretty well buggered without her.
And I guess finally, there's going to be clubs, there's going to be individuals, there's going to be people in the audience that are thinking about or not just focusing on disability inclusion, but more broadly wanting to be more inclusive environments. What is some of the advice that you'd give somebody that's at the beginning of their journey when it comes to inclusion?
Well, lean on people. There's plenty of people in this room that we're all networking and everything else. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of information. Just you got to ask that question, and don't be scared. If you see a skills gap there, or you think there's something that's going to work, just grab it and run with it. Like, you can only give it a go. If it doesn't work, then you can start again. But always give it a go. Don't leave it to the person next to you going, oh, I reckon they can do that. Grab it yourself and run with it. That's what we did with this football thing. Dave's like, I want to play football. There's a big hole in the community. All right, I'm going to run with it. They told me, if you're dreaming starting in 12 months, Yeah, well, maybe 3 years. We did in 12 months. So just grab it and run with it. You know, take the dream with you. Bring people on board. Sell the dream.
Brilliant. So I guess from a rainy Tuesday evening, sitting in the dark club rooms to where we are today, I think you're not only the people sitting up here, but everyone that's within your network should be incredibly proud. And I think the wonderful humans that we have up on stage are really, really great examples of social change, on how a few people can make such an impact to other people's lives. I've written something down that I just really didn't want to forget, and that's when we look at community impact and we look at how we've got somebody like Jamie that is going to leave such an incredible legacy for the people to follow. It's really important that we recognize and we appreciate the people doing some great stuff within the community. Next time you see initiatives, next time you see champions of inclusion, what's really important is for them to be recognized. And I'd like to thank you all sitting up here today for participating in this evening. And really just how one great idea with a bit of hard work can change people's lives. So from everyone... Of course you can.
Before I say goodbye, and I'm a photo at the New Bridge, and I got an award from the City of Mandurah. I've done a lot. It's like, you know, you got to follow your heart and your goal, and you can receive what you want. It's not your devil or God say no. Just believe. Thank you very much.
And on that note, thank you.
Thanks, David, Zoe, Jamie and Xavier and Adam, or Michael as we call him in the office. Grab it and run with it. I think that's a really great statement that anyone in here can make change if they want to take that chance. For me, I think sport, community sport in particular, can be such a driver to open doors and open those doors a bit wider as you've started there, Jamie, and your legacy will be here long after you've walked out the door, but you'll look back with pride, I'm sure. It was really, it's something I can understand, that you don't let things stop you. When you reach an obstacle, you find a way to get around it, over it, or through it. And it takes a special person to do that, so well done, mate. Dave, I love it when you said you put your shirt on with pride. I think everyone that is in a club or sporting group or anything, you wear your club colours with pride, and it's fantastic you do that. And follow your heart and just believe. It's a powerful few words. And Zoe as well, for your leadership and confidence. They did say that you were very shy. I don't believe that. You spoke beautifully. Thank you so much. And Xavier as well, unbelievable for such a young man. You guys, not stopping no matter the challenges, and don't be scared. And I think all of you, and I think anyone that puts themselves out there and does things for their community, you certainly would be getting back as well, just as much as you're giving, and you receive that back, and you deserve everything you get. So well done, guys. Thank you.